right, you go ahead.
Lady at 46 South Rose.
Ran, aka the PowerPoint printout. I hear you're the presenter for the group. You're first. How did you guys work so well together? You guys just met.
Although we come from different backgrounds, we got to know each other really well in just 8 days. We hired this quicker guy for mafia training, where we built a reliable pipeline out of complete strangers in MassPath, establishing early trust. Just this Monday morning, we get together and discussed our strengths, weaknesses, expectations, and desires for growth. By this afternoon, that early familiarity had evolved into a higher level of effective trust, which Weber says is correlated to higher performance. We also shared our weaknesses, failures, regrets, and life-changing moments. This revealed more of our hidden areas and discovered our own blind spots by opening a window into our souls, like the legendary mafia leader Johara once. This enabled us to start creating deeper bonds and brought us much closer together.
Shen Liang, as the calculator of the group, what's the equation for an effective team?
Purpose equals to success. The Caproni family always say high-performing teams go beyond organization objectives to establish a collaborative purpose. With this in mind, we establish a mission: strive for excellence and individual growth through collaboration. To facilitate our process, we established the Gong Law, which we called the norms. Throughout the week, we repeatedly leveraged the SOM, School of Mafias, Do, Reflect, and Apply model. Each of our members is committed to provide and receive honest and constructive feedback with humility. We also agree to be adaptive to different leadership style and proactive about fulfilling different roles.
Natalia, the glue.
Wait, who, me?
Yes, you. The one who gets into sticky situations. For example, how did it go with the sticky Lego man?
Well, it was really sticky. We thought we had it based on the previous experience throughout the week. However, our group fell into chaos. Although we knew it was a complex task and coordination was required, our team took quite a bit to choose a leader. And even when we chose one, our team didn't necessarily respect the leader and follow the decision-making process. As a result, we had a process loss due to the lack of planning. This poor process resulted in a poor outcome of over 10 minutes in our Lego man time. Now, we're a smart gang. We own SOM. Therefore, we immediately reflected on our performance and modified our gang law, aka our norms.
Rubber Band Dennis, who's your boss? Take me to your leader.
We don't have a leader, man. We are the Orpheus Orchestra of the mafia world.
Why don't you have a leader? Surely someone must hold all the power.
Hey, calm down, okay? Our strength depends on the distribution of power. While negotiating in the Star Power Casino, we learn to avoid unnecessary hierarchies and to think about how to take advantage of the inclusive group membership, while trying to avoid the pitfalls of in and out, high-low power dynamics. In our team, we assign different hand gangsta according to the needs of the group and the skills required for the completion of the job, man. We take into consideration the input environmental factors. This is also laid out in our gang law, the norms, okay?
M, the pencil. Your time for tanagram is 22 seconds. How is it possible you work so quickly?
We had good group design, and as a result, saw good group synergy and shared commitment. The bosses designed discrete tasks with worker feedback, and the workers self-organized and managed their subgroups based on skills managers pre-identified. As a boss in that role, we also accepted worker feedback and iterated on the most effective communication method, which was verbal rather than written, unlike what the managers initially assumed. The group process spurred us to think about not making assumptions about learning styles.
Didn't you have any manager-worker tensions? Why didn't you beat the 19-second group, Emily the Calendar? How could you have improved your performance outcome?
No, we didn't have any street fights because the bosses were open about the objective, timeline, and metrics for success. and allowed us our own autonomy and flexibility in planning and execution. Our time, it could have improved if the bosses contacted us earlier and we thought about the end product, placement, or final output, rather than building the sections apart and having to push them together at the end. We learned the advantages of having the workers take ownership in the design and communication process.
Josh, aka the video phone. You guys were engaged in a quote-unquote business transaction in the Caribbean and ended up getting stranded on an island during a hurricane. Yet somehow you guys survived. How did you manage that?
Fortunately, we had established a good amount of trust, a group level factor within the group. On the island, we identified members with expertise and established a democratic process to both prioritize risks and resources. Thankfully, as a group, we're better collectively than individually. Our gang law, aka the norms, and our diverse backgrounds led to a synergy score of 15, one of the highest in the Red Mafia family. Now, Billy, you're known on the street as the keyboard. You guys must have had some problems on the island. What would you have done differently?
Well, we succumbed to what Allen and Bacon call normative influence. We tried to minimize conflict, but at the cost of a better solution. A few members jumped in on an early idea, and we got trapped in groupthink. Since then, we've set up formal processes for majority-minority dialogue and established a rotating devil's advocate role designed to challenge the majority. This will help us dissent early on and more actively listen, like Clausen hopes we would. Another problem we encountered as we jumped right into our processes without thinking about our end strategy. Cognizant that our group lacks individuals with fiery red focusing behaviors, as we learned about in Insights, we've decided to have an agenda to keep us on task and give us a strong vision for our output goals moving forward.
Abi, aka the Mona Lisa, you're not known to talk much. Some might characterize you as having more introverted behavior. How do you survive in this business?
Susan Kane's TED Talk. We made it required watching before we induct any new members. Susan talks about the power of introverts. We sit, observe, and when we speak, it's just as powerful and meaningful. After the hurricane, we realized to be more attentive to visual cues and create pauses for others, like me, to chime in when we have an idea. We became conscious that extroversion isn't necessarily the right recipe for success. There are more introverts in the gangster business than you might imagine.
Whew, we made it out of the interrogation unscathed. I'm excited we can keep going on for the next year, meeting tough business challenges while striving for individual growth and team success.
Absolutely. One key takeaway for me relates to what the Caproni family cites from the legendary Hackman. High-performing teams are effective when they promote the personal growth needs and well-being of team members, and they grow and learn as a unit. For us, supporting each other's individual goals and growth is essential to our overall growth as a team as we move forward over the next year. So we built in feedback processes to check in after each project to review team processes and ensure individual growth and engagement.
Totally agree with you, Josh. Our second key takeaway is that we too often succumb to groupthink over the past week. To address this issue, we've amended our gang law to establish a rotating devil's advocate who will critically evaluate our thinking during each project and be an ally for the minority group.
Definitely. Before we book our next project, anyone want to get ice cream?
Yeah!
I want vanilla. Okay.